La Bamba! Vámonos! Because your voice matters. This is your voice, your show with Carlos and my great friend Mo. Vámonos! Let me know one thing. Let me know what is your I'm having a great time here today. I'm having a great time here today that I even forget what I have to say. But that's why this is about your voice. This is because your voice matters, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know whether you guys are watching us from live. Today is the first episode of this segment that we are creating called Your Voice. Because this is your voice, your show with Carlos and my great friend Mo. Ladies and gentlemen, let me bring my brother from another mother here, Mo Rock, President, CEO of the LA Tribune. What's up, brother Mo? How you
How's
doing,
it going?
family?
You know, I'm doing well, but I had a good time in the green room just watching you go, Carlos. You know, I don't think I can top that intro. You know, I was having a good time kind of being an audience member, but thanks for putting this together, Carlos. I think that really the mission and vision that you have to touch people and inspire people and educate people is definitely why I was honored to do this with you. And I'm excited that you and I are doing this now as part of our, Success Institute program, where we're giving back and we're educating people and teaching people things that we've learned over the years, completely free of charge. Because right now, Carlos, you and I both know that we live in an age where people need to start thinking like an entrepreneur. You know, the days where you could go to a company and after 3 or 4 decades, they give you a watch and they say, the days of getting the golden watch after 30, 40 years and loyalty from company to employer-employee relationship is no longer as loyal as it once was. You and I both know. And this past year, so many people have gotten furloughed and laid off that really it's become in your face. It's undeniable now. And so people need to really start thinking like an entrepreneur. Even if you're working, even if you are on payroll, you need to start thinking like an entrepreneur, because it's the entrepreneurial mindset that will allow you to sustain a career, whether it's in corporate America or whether it's with your own business. So, when you and I discuss doing this show once a week, where each week we talk about tidbits, tools, strategies, to help people, I said I'm definitely on board, because I believe in the vision and the mission and the value, because right now there's a void, Carlos. There's really a need, a profound need for people to learn the things that you and I, through experience, through time, through grit, have learned. And it's now our responsibility really to share that with the world. And we can actually be part of the solution as opposed to sitting back and not doing anything. And, I've always said, if you know that there's a problem and you're not doing anything about it, whether it's in your life or in the world, you're part of the problem, yes. Right? So we need to actually be proactive and come up with solutions and share with people ways that they can share their voice, ways that they can monetize the natural tools that they have, ways that they can get out there and make their dreams come true as aspiring entrepreneurs. And we do it as a community service here every week on Roku and Amazon. We don't charge. We don't ask people to buy a ticket of admission, because it's actually something that gives us a karmic currency. Carlos, we have the monetary currency where we can sell something in the traditional sense, but then there's also the karmic currency, right? Something that's not as tangible to the naked eye, but something that nonetheless is just as real. And so by putting that good energy out there, by putting that education and knowledge and wisdom out there for people to take and change their lives and change their businesses, we do have that benefit, which is the karmic side, which does come back tenfold.
Yes. Now I love, you got me thinking here, as one of our great friends of both you and I, Les Brown, the legendary, the best speaker in the planet, in my opinion. Let's talk about this term called spiritual suicide, where people, they commit a spiritual suicide. Like, he talks about how a lot of people, they die at 16 and then they bury themselves at age 80. And that's why it's so important that you are sharing your voice, you are sharing your superpowers, because you have a voice, ladies and gentlemen. You watching me right now, you have a voice, and you have two brothers over here that believe in yourself way more than what you've been believing in yourself. You know that you got way more inside of you than what you are playing. And we want to, inspire you. We want to give you tools and access and strategies and things that made us successful, that made Mo, become very successful with the LA Tribune and all the amazing people that he attracts there, all the amazing people that I attract to my shows. And now we decided to every week come over here for 30 minutes and just have a great time sharing some of the strategies that are working right now. And here's one thing that I want to get right into it, guys, as we have 30 minutes is your voice matters. That's the number one thing. That's why I put the number one here, right next to it. Number one thing that you gotta let yourself know that, you know what? My voice do matters. Like, you have something to say. But you gotta ask yourself, why you? Why they should listen to you? Because you are competing against 60 billion text messages are going on every single day. No matter what, 60 billion messages they go on. And there is also thousands and thousands of advertisements subconsciously are being also loaded in front of your ideal avatars. So let's address this over here right from the beginning, because that's the number one thing which it ties with the mindset and why. Your voice matters. Once you make that decision and you draw that line, you know what? I got a voice, I have something to share, and then you create a lasting change, impact in the life of billions, in the life of millions. You got to believe and see yourself, because if you do it, you'll be able to transfer that through the screen. But you got to ask yourself, why you? What is your take on that, Brother Mo?
Well, Carlos, you bring up a great point, and that's that right now we're at peak in human history with regard to the amount of advertisements that a person is bombarded with. Whether you're scrolling up and down on social media or whether the terrestrial ways of consuming media, we're constantly bombarded with different advertisements, both paid and also through, what's organic advertisements, which is people posting things on social media where they're trying to sell something. And so we collectively have become extremely desensitized to advertisements, to call to actions, to things where people are asking us to sign up here, sign up for a mailing list, click, here's a swipe file, whatever the case may be. And so what we are experiencing is a collective desensitized. And how are we going to stand out? Well, the answer, Carlos, is to provide value, okay? Provide authentic, genuine, real value. That's the only way to stand out, because you can't, out-screen, you can't out-flash, you can't out-finesse. Things that worked in traditional advertising don't work anymore. Once upon a time, you could get a celebrity to do a commercial for your company, and that was enough to kind of get people's attention. Once upon a time, you could just make sure that the commercials you produced were flashy and glossy and had good graphics and had good colors, a good color scheme done. Those days are gone. Right? The human experience with media has become such where, because of the amount that we're bombarded with, the only way to really stand out of the pack is to give authentic, genuine, real value. As an example, what you and I are doing with this show, and, we don't have time to get into some real powerful things that we're saving for next week, but, this is essentially a preliminary episode, but the value that we're going to provide, Carlos, on the show is equivalent to people spending thousands of dollars on a high-ticket course, class, webinar, and we're giving it for free. By default, we're going to automatically stand out from the pack without having to have the colors, without having to have the fancy graphics. As entertaining as you are, Carlos, naturally, that's just an added bonus, right? It's not the... it's not, there we go. See, now that's entertaining to see, right? So we're going to have some people that just want to watch you, but the point is that's just the, cherry on top. The ice cream cone, and the ice cream is the value. And so that's where people's focus need to be. Too often I hear people talk about marketing tools, techniques, ways that they can get people to watch. And, those gimmicks are very short term and they're not ever going to last. So authentic, genuine, massive value is the answer.
That's so true, brother, because one thing that I always say is this, right? Building an audience is easy. It's not hard at all. I do this all day with my eyes closed, for thousands and thousands of people worldwide. But here's the problem. Maintaining the audience, that is a whole nother conversation, ladies and gentlemen, that we will go more in depth. Because here's the thing. I don't know, whenever you guys put a live or you do a podcast or a TV show, when you look at your numbers, if you're not getting them there for like at least 6 minutes, it's no bueno. At least for like 70% of your entire show, it's hurting the algorithm big time. So, and then we can go deep and deep and deep into this. But, we'll save that for next week. We're going to go into some more cool questions over here. And here's something more. Why is it important that for you to share your voice? And then I want to add something in a way that other people don't do, can't do, and will not think of doing. Because what's happening is you are competing against 5,000 to 10,000 advertisements that we all see on a daily basis. Not that we are there like looking at it like this all day long, but they are subconsciously being implanted in our mind, even though without you knowing, through the Facebook, commercials, outdoors, the buses, everywhere you go, you're walking around, everywhere you go behind a car and a sticker. So 5,000 to 10,000, that's how many advertisements you are looking at it on a daily basis subconsciously. So how do you stand out? So it's very important that, why is that important that you share your voice in a way that other people in your niche, in your industry, don't do, can do, and we will not think of doing. Let's talk a lot about that for a minute here, Mo, because I think that's important, that people really should ask and should take their time to analyze how they are bringing their message to the market in a way that is unique and is different from all the crap that is out there. And that's one of the main reasons why people are not stopping and scrolling down whenever you start speaking.
Well, Carlos, what this year has proven to us, and what we've known even before this year, but this year has solidified this, is that we're really yearning as a planet for a new kind of leadership. The kind of leadership of the ways of the past are simply not working. And so everyone watching this needs to realize that if the state of the world is not at the level that you want it to be, it's not your fault, right? But it is your responsibility. And so because you're on the planet, and as a leader, and if you're watching this program, then you're a leader, and you're an aspiring leader, because only leaders want to share their voice, and only leaders truly understand why it's their responsibility to share their voice. And we talked about this previously, Carlos. People become speakers for a lot of different reasons. And sharing your voice doesn't just necessarily mean becoming a speaker, right? Sharing your voice could be sharing your art. It could be writing a book. It could be, creating a program, whatever the course may be. But for those that are speakers, ask yourself, why are you a speaker? Because you and I both know that there are some people that are speakers for the wrong reasons and some people that are speakers for the right reasons. I'm a speaker because I have something to say, quite frankly. And that's why I speak, right? So if you're speaking because you think it's a way to make money, well, that's certainly not a path that is, first of all, going to lead you to that path, because in order to go through something as grueling as having the world hear your voice, you're going to go through a lot of suffering, because it's a very difficult business, and you need to have the passion to sustain that. And if your motivation is just money, you're not going to have enough passion to sustain that, and if you go look at the root word of the word passion, and you look at the root where that terminology came from, it actually means suffering, right? The word passion means suffering. And so when you hear people talk about, I know you talked about the great Les Brown, who has countless times said, follow your passion. And, we've heard CEOs of Fortune 500 companies say, follow your passion. What does that really mean, Carlos? Follow your passion. What does that mean linguistically? It means follow your suffering, right? Because what you and I both know is, to build a successful business, especially if you're building it from ground up, it requires to go through suffering. There's never been anything that was built that is great that didn't go through suffering, right?
Yes.
You can go through Steve Jobs, you can go through Walt Disney, you can go through the ups and downs of Elon Musk. Whenever you have built something that has lasted the test of time and has changed the status quo, you always find that there's suffering there, but that's part of the process, right? So when you're passionate about something, you're going to sustain the suffering. So if you're only motivated by money, that's not going to give you the right passion because it's a very limited, low frequency cause. But if you're motivated by authentically, key word of the sentence, changing the world in a better way, uplifting and inspiring people, helping reduce human suffering and increase prosperity, increase success. If that's what is passionate in your heart, you're going to sustain the roller coaster ride because you're motivated by something greater than just you.
Yes. No, that's so powerful, man. And as you're, saying all that, and then I started thinking about some of my friends. They have incredible shows that do amazing things, and you can see it through them that people like yourself, myself, you know what I mean? Like big shout to my boy Tom Bilou from Impact Theory. It's like you do it with love. You really, really want to help people. Like Tom, he does his research, right? On the people that come on the show. He goes deep into the psychology. Is this person is out there helping people really, you know what I mean? And then it's like you and myself, whenever people come to us to be on the show and they want to talk to us about media and how to set up your own TV show, how to get your own TV show, how to get to TV, how to, really get your message to the masses of S's, as I like to say. And that's something that we really take the time, we do the digging, we prepare. Because at the end of the day, it's like, how can we want to making sure that this message, no, I don't want to motivate you guys. We want to inspire you guys. We want to inspire so that this message is embedded in your nervous system so that when you leave here, you're going to be like, I want you to talk at dinner table tonight with your family. We're like, yeah, man, Carlos, he went there. Trump or Biden, just kidding, ha, 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 but you see what I'm saying, right? I'm playful. I have a great time. I don't give a damn because that's another thing. You got to stop worrying about what my signs are. You got to stop worrying about what other people going to say of you. If you say something on your show or if you share your values or your beliefs or whatever, stop worrying about people leaving you or not watching the show, or if you lose followers because you talk about Jesus and they don't like Jesus, or you talk about Allah or whoever the heck, you feel me? It's like speak your truth. And your people that will care, that will love you, that have similar values and beliefs, they will follow you. But you gotta bring it. You cannot fake until you make it bullshit. You gotta be you. You gotta be authentic. And a lot of people out there, that's why they are not winning right now. They hold on to the shit. They put it this makeup, this mask, trying to appear to be something that they are not. And guess what? That shit, people can sense it. People, they don't understand. There are AI, there is technology out there that can read our facial expressions. Corporations, before they hire speakers and trainers and consultants, they do that stuff. They look through AI that looks through speakers and other people to see which faces and personalities are going to be the most relatable to their employees. That's going to help move the needle. So it's so much more out there that people have no idea. But you see, you don't know about this shit because nobody's teaching you the strategies and the hacks unless you pay them so much money. And Mo and I, we actually want to help people here. And, Mo, here's a great question also that I want us to spend some time here before we go to the next one is going to be great. But this one over here, have you guys at home ever asked yourself why they don't show my shit to the world since it can help so many people? And I start with this. Think about it. You got 5,000 to 10,000 advertisements out there that are competing, that people pay Facebook, Instagram, and all those other companies to show people because they are giving them money. And you want to get your stuff organically. For example, let's say you don't have money, you're building from the ground up. You got to put a lot of thought into your message. You have to really create this shit and make it so powerful so that you want to leave people hanging. You're going to bring so much value that you're gonna always leave people wanting more. So you want to build the audience. So that's why never underestimate the power of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 10 people only watching, because those same 4, 5, 10 people, they will bring an extra 4 or 10 to the next show. And you keep building this thing up, and eventually you bypass the algorithm, among other strategies that we share next week. But Mo, what is your take on this? So I don't want to go too deep here, because this next question is really cool that I have here for us to talk about.
Well, the thing is, Carlos, I think that when a person takes that leap and they start a podcast, or they start a show, or they start getting their voice out there in whatever medium it is, don't be attached to the number of people that watch it, because that's actually going to do a drastically negative thing to your creative process. Yeah. The process is where the focus should be, not on the immediate result. You see, a lot of people, what happens is they get caught up in this dopamine hit effect. What recent studies from Harvard University and Yale and Stanford have all shown is that social media has a addictive nature to it. And those that create content are not immune. So what happens is people literally get a dopamine hit when they have likes or comments on content that they create. Now, the danger is, as a content creator, if you allow yourself to get caught up in that, you're going to be so focused on the reaction, and you're going to lose sight of the creation and the motivation and inspiration, as you put it, of the creative aspect is going to get tainted, right? Because what you and I both know, Carlos, is as content creators, as speakers, as authors, if you're a musician out there, you can also relate to this. The greatest work never comes from us. It actually comes through us. Yeah. Okay. And if we're focused on the comments and the likes and the number of people watching something, things no longer come through us, but things actually come from us. Because if your mind is thinking about, well, if I put this out there, so-and-so will leave this comment and this type of demographic will like it. Now you've become a marketer and not a authentic content creator. And there's a major distinction between the two. And what we're here to do with this program, Your Voice, and I know we're going to wrap it up here in a couple minutes, Carlos, is we're here to create authentic leaders around the world. This show and program is not for everybody. We're not out here trying to get 1 million people to watch. We're trying to get those handful, select people that are ready to be authentic, genuine game changers in the world of leadership, in the world of media, in the world of business, and people that are here that are going to be dedicated each and every week, that are going to take notes, that are going to listen, that are going to apply the things that we're going to share. And that's a very small percentage of the population, Carlos, right? But as you and I both know, all it takes is 2%, 1%, 3% of the human population to change the world in a positive way. And that's what we're here to do. Week after week, every Wednesday. So as of the preliminary episode, we're kind of laying the groundwork, and we have so much powerful, exciting content, tools, resources, educational materials, things that you've never heard about, things that will blow you away. If you haven't been an entrepreneur before, but you're looking at doing it, it's going to give you years of an advantage. If you are an entrepreneur, but you're struggling to get to the next level, this will help give you years of an advantage. And it's going to give you the tools necessary to be active and alive in a new world, in a new age, in a new digital age. So really excited to just be a participant in that act of creating leaders around the world.
Amen, my brother. Amen. Super powerful stuff, Mo. Always bringing it. And here's another powerful question, brother, that I want us to talk about a little bit here as we wrapping this thing up. And then we'll go more in depth into this question here next week, which is, are you capitalizing on the millions and millions of people that TV, magazine, and radio are losing? I want you guys to think about that for a minute. Think about, as we grew up, how we, receive information. Think about the different modalities or how people like to watch, like to hear, like to, receive information. You think about the different types of learners. What kind of learner are they? They like to hear more, listen more. They like to touch, in order to learn. Think about, you have to really start thinking about, guys, as you are putting content, And next week, we're going to go more in depth about bringing, right? You heard like one of my great friends from the Think and Go Rich Foundation, I like to call create and go rich. I like to level that up one step, right? Because when you go into what Mo was saying here earlier, when you take it, that pressure off, I don't care if the people are going to comment or not. I'm going to go in to serve and to add value to every single person that took their time, because that's one thing that you don't get it back, and that's your time. And you never know that one golden nugget that Mo or myself could share here with you week after week, just by you watching the show entirely, that could change the game for you. People talk about the 2% rule all the time, right? I'd like to talk about the 0.2% millimeter rule. They got to a whole nother level. And that's how you shrink the sales cycle. That's how you go from 0 to hero in no time. That's when you shift from making 100 grand a year to 100 grand a month to 100 grand a week to 100 grand in a day, by launching, by setting it up correctly, by planning your content correctly, by always putting so much value and leaving them wanting more. So whenever they will look forward to watch your show, watch your podcast, read that book, join your mastermind, join your program, or whatever is that you want to put out there to the world. So Mo, I know that I talk too much here, but as we asking you this question, but I wanted to hear your input about, what is your take about people and capitalizing on the millions and millions of people, low-hanging fruit out there right now, that they are waiting for them to share their voice and their message so that they can join their tribe and purchase or whatever they wanted to sell them?
Well, Carlos, anyone that knows me knows I'm a huge fan of art, and I'm an avid art collector, and my favorite artist is actually Andy Warhol. And Andy Warhol has a real powerful quote that he said decades and decades ago, and that was that everyone in the future is going to have 15 minutes of fame. Now, Andy Warhol was so absolutely correct with this assessment that he predicted decades ago, because now we live in a day and age where we're going through, in a Mach 10 speed kind of way, we're going through a way where an age where centralized media is no longer going to exist. Right. Our grandparents had maybe one TV channel, maybe 2 or 3. And then, the next generation got introduced to cable and suddenly became 100. Well, now this generation has millions of different options at any given point, and it's only going to increase and increase and increase and increase and increase. And so instead of having 1 or 2 centralized media outlets, what we're going to see in the future is we're going to see a world where there will be millions of content creators, millions of streams, millions of live streams coming through a whole host of digital media platforms with simultaneously millions of people watching it. And so everyone is going to have an audience that wants to be in business. Everyone is going to have to be, in essence, out there as a content creator if they want to survive the future digital wave. We're amidst a world that is changing rapidly, and one of 2 things are going to happen. Either you're going to become a dinosaur, or you're going to become a pioneer. Now, if you haven't consciously made the decision that you want to be a pioneer, but you're also not someone that considers yourself to be a dinosaur, well, I got bad news for you. Stagnation leads to destruction. Yeah. Standing still, not evolving, leads to you dying. And dinosaurs didn't know that they're going to go extinct until it was too late, right? And the same is true for anyone watching this that's currently in business. Are you going to be a pioneer of the digital revolution, or are you going to be a dinosaur and fizzle away your income, fizzle away your livelihood, have no idea how to even monetize yourself as an entrepreneur in the new digital era, in the new era that we're heading towards? So you need to step up right now and become a pioneer. You need to step up right now and be a leader. And you need to have the courage to change. You need to have the courage to evolve. You need to have the courage to reinvent. Reinvention is very difficult, but success is difficult, right? It's simple. We can tell you the roadmap on how to do it, but just because something is simple doesn't mean it's easy. Dieting and exercise are very simple. Don't have a high calorie intake. Make sure you're going on the treadmill, do some muscle resistance exercises. I can literally list on one sheet of paper the steps that you need to do to be in phenomenal shape. It's simple, but it's not easy. And so, for those of you out there that are stuck doing things, in the harder way, with the tools that we're going to give, you can start doing things the easier way, doing things a simpler way. And so that's definitely what you can tune in for week after week. And I know we're about to wrap this up, Carlos, but
yes.
if people tune in, they're definitely in for a surprise.
Yeah, you feel it, guys. So every time, guys, every Wednesday, we're going to be here at 5 p.m. Pacific for 20 to 30 minutes. Sometimes, me, I'd like to talk. We go a little bit over. And we're going to keep bringing amazing news and strategies for you guys over here. And that's powerful. That's powerful in sharing your voice. That is power. Like you guys saw me talking about and bribing. Like, look how powerful it is. For example, one of our clients, Envision, we were one of the first companies that ever been in the United Nations. And then I bought them to, told their stories to Mo. We have them on the front page of the LA Tribune. That land to front page on Forbes the next day, and then to Washington Post a week after. And that's the power of strategically getting your message out in a way that is this strategic, that leave people wanting to hear about you, they're wanting to join. And now we created a global revolution, renewable revolution with that project, where we have in the communities and families and neighbors getting involved, and we all going to go out there, recycle together, and have some fun. If you guys haven't watched that yet, go on my YouTube channel and then type in bit.ly/CSTV show and watch that episode about the hashtag renewable revolution on YouTube, and watch why it was a massive success. Bro, you know how a lot of people out there, they have a hard time for people registering to watch the show or their event. We had like 200 people registered on LinkedIn, 100 plus registered in one small group on Facebook, 3,000 plus views on LinkedIn, and tens of thousands, around the world through our other methods of TV like Roku and Amazon. So that is power in sharing your message. You heard about the name, right? Religious name. That is power in the voice. That is power in the name of Jesus. That is power in your voice too, my friend. Don't underestimate how powerful your message can reach, because one day that could be you at the United Nations. We have the connections. You just have to take massive action. Step number one, show off. Understand. Go back to the show. Ask yourself, your voice matters, but why you? Why they should ask you to be on their show? Why they should listen to you? You have to, once you believe in yourself and you believe in what you have to share, others will believe it, because that's how you're going to see yourself. And then you're going to capitalize by applying all the strategies that Mo and I are going to be teaching here on a weekly basis. And then you're going to start capitalizing, getting a piece of that pie of the millions and millions of people that are lost right now, that they are looking for you to step up, that they are looking for you to share your voice with the masses of S's. It's your boy, Carlos Siqueira, and Mo Rock. Your voice, your show with Carlos and Mo. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a little preliminary of this show that we're going to be doing every Wednesday here to share the latest and the greatest. Are you stuck as an author? Are you stuck with your podcast? Are you stuck with your show? Nobody's watching. You're not getting people to come in and sponsors to handle you cash. You're having a lot of problems. You're not getting your message out. You are not making money. Keep showing up. Step number one, show up. Be a person that gives way more than what you take. Keep tagging people right now. This show is free. The way how you can give it back, tag 3 people right now. You should watch this show. Come back here. Mo and I, we want to see you here actively. We will bring your name over here on this stage when you drop a comment, like everybody else here, to drop a comment. A big shout to Dabby, a big shout to Al, a big shout to everyone that are here commenting and saying hi. So, keep showing up and keep being a person of value. Always be the one that gives way more than what you take. It doesn't matter what you do. Focus from the place of contribution, not acquisition. You'll be taking a huge, huge rock out of your back when you operate from that place. Always, it's about the mission, never the commission. Follow the mission and the vision, and I trust you, my friend, the commission will follow you. But you just got to put that aside. Let the wannabes and the competition do that. Let's focus on being servant leaders, and we will get ourselves out there to make a true impact in this planet and leave this place a little bit better than what we came into. My brother Mo, any last words, my friend?
You know, you hit the nail on the head. You know, one of my favorite things that you have said, and you know that I'm a big fan of your book, Work Like an Immigrant, because it really instills the mindset of grit and the mindset of, you know, being passionate about growth. And you wrote in there, it's not about the commission, it's about the mission. And I think that really summarizes what our goal and our vision and the purpose of this program is. It's to instill that spirit, because there's a lot of people out there, Carlos, that are appealing to the greed, right? Appealing to the quick money, the fast fame, the things that don't last. What, you know, one of the laws of the universe is, and that's a fantastic book, and I know the coach is also a huge fan.
That's why the Golden State won that year, because they read
Absolutely.
my book.
It instilled a lot of grit, right? And grit is, whether it's a professional basketball team like the Golden State Warriors or an entrepreneur who's about to start a business, you need to have that grit, right? And the grit needs to come from an authentic place, a genuine place, a place that has a purpose bigger than just yourself. This is not about how to make fast money. If that's what you're looking for, stop watching our program. This is about people that understand one of the laws of the universe, the gestation period, the fact that things take time. It might take years for you to truly have that vision come into fruition, but that's what greatness takes. Greatness takes time. Greatness takes vision. Greatness takes grit. Greatness takes constant practice, constant growth. And we're here to lay it down in an authentic, honest way. What Carlos and I, and the reason that we resonate so well, is that you never hear us tell you what you want to hear. We tell you what you need to hear. And so tune in week after week. Be ready with notes. Be ready with, with an open mind, an open heart, and a clean sheet of paper to take down the notes, because we're going to give you the tools, resources, and strategies necessary to make it as a leader, as an authentic leader in the new world that we're living in.
Amen, my brother. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Your voice, your show with Carlos and Mo. And we're going to start the same way with dancing. You know it. The days that break you are the days that make you. Just got to dance through the rejections, then dance through the no's, and wake up with determination and go to bed with satisfaction, because you showed up and you are here and you took massive action. Thank you so much. God bless everyone.